All right, teammates, I am super duper excited to come to you guys this evening. Once again, with my salesperson hat on. I got my salesperson hat on, Coach B Walk. Last week, we talked about selling the dream, right? Why do you want to become a regional vice president? The power of that regional vice president contract, hands down, the best business contract in American business history, right? Where else can you go? Ask yourself this question. Where else can you go with no experience, no background, no type of connections or relationships, that somebody actually seeks you out and connects you with an opportunity, with a company, a reputable company that has been in business for over 44, 45 years now, an industry leader, and give you a legitimate business opportunity in the biggest industry on the face of the planet, which is financial services, that you don't have to quit your job to do. You can actually do it part-time around your schedule, not by yourself, but with mentorship, coaching, and training, people that will pour into you to help you grow and develop and become successful. And you can make as much money as you want. You can create your own schedule. You can build a team. You can build ownership, make a six-figure income and then some, build a legacy for your family from scratch, right? Where else can you go and do that? I mean, this is the greatest business contract in the history of the world. And you have the power to promote yourself. Nobody has their thumb on you, squeezing you. Promotion guidelines are subjective to whatever somebody wants or feels about you, right? They have this unconscious bias about who they want to promote into certain positions, where they say, hey, it's not racial, it's not personal, it's just that I felt that this person was more qualified. When you knew deep down that you were the most qualified person, you were the most eligible person for that position, but you got passed up and passed over and over and over again because somebody above you who makes the decisions has an unconscious bias about you. Or they just lying and they just say they telling you this, but they really believe that. It ain't no unconscious bias. They have a blatant bias against you. But here's the thing, not in Primerica. You can come here and literally from scratch build something that can leave you and your family in the best financial position that you can dream of or imagine. And do that from scratch. No background, nothing like that. The greatest business contract in the history of American business, especially for people who look like us and come from where we come from, right? And it's been proven over and over and over again, example after example, men, women, young people, seasoned people, single moms, single dads, married couples and partnerships, over and over and over again, example after example, East Coast, West Coast, North, down South, right? Immigrants, people who were born here. It doesn't matter, degree, no degree. Example after example of people that are winning here. That's the opportunity that you're a part of. So I sold you guys, or at least I made my best attempt to sell you guys last week on the dream of building a Primerica business through becoming a regional vice president, comparing that to the lane and the vehicle that you have right now. Now, teammates, I want to take another step because it's not just about selling the dream. That's one half of the equation, Marquis. The other half is selling the crusade. Selling the crusade. And the crusade and the dream, they're really all tied together. They're the same thing, but just in different forms, right? Well, Nick, what do you mean by that? Well, all ice is water in a different form. Are y'all with me? It's the same thing, right? It's H2O. But when you freeze water, it becomes ice. Well, if you boil water, it becomes steam, right? It's all the same thing. It's just in a different form. And what that is that what is driving you, what is compelling you to do what you want to do. Let me give you a hint, teammates. If you are in Primerica, listen to me, and listen to me good when I say this. If you are in Primerica just to make money, you're not going to last here. Did he just say that? Yes, I did. I'm going to repeat that. If you are in this business strictly to make money, you are not going to last long here. It has to be something bigger than just making a dollar. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something bigger than just getting a commission direct deposited into your account in the next 48 hours. It has to be something that's bigger than that you get eaten up with, that you get excited about, that you get just overwhelmed with emotionally, right? And that part is the crusade. See, the crusade is what should anchor you here. It's what should anchor you here. What we do for families should be enough to anchor you here and keep you around. Why? Because it's everything. It's everything. Because even when times are lean in the business, and maybe the recruits aren't coming as fast, or maybe the people aren't buying as much, and you just hit maybe a valley, just kind of a dry spell, a dry season in your business, just because you're not making the money, listen to me, that you feel you should be making, you don't start getting these thoughts in your mind about, well, maybe this isn't for me, right? Well, maybe Primerica doesn't work. It can't be about that. And just because you haven't made a few dollars, maybe because you had a person that you recruited, you quit. Now, all of a sudden, you're questioning whether or not the business works. No. What that tells me is that you weren't rooted deep enough. Because a person that's rooted in the opportunity is a person that's a crusader. And crusaders die hard, baby. Crusaders die hard because they believe in what we do for families. They believe in what we do for families. I myself, I'm a crusader. I started off the business as a crusader. True story. I didn't even know how the compensation structure worked. I was just so in love with what we did for families that even when I made money, I wasn't tripping off of it. I was just excited to be able to help families. When I saw Stephen and Phoenicia do my parents' financial needs analysis, that's what we called it back then. We call it the Wealth Builder now. But they did my parents' financial needs analysis, and I witnessed what they did for my parents. I said, oh man, this is amazing. Everybody needs to know about this. What I saw them do for the people that, I just adore. Like, I got a great relationship with my mom and dad. I just got eaten up with it. Let me tell you something. It was so bad, Coach B-Walk, to where I remember when I came to the office, and man, we were rocking and rolling. Stephen and Phoenicia, they were on their RVP run. And then as a team, we were starting to pick up momentum because we were trying to get them promoted to RVP. And this is when they weren't necessarily direct depositing checks like they would mail your checks to the office. Andre know what I'm talking about. The home office would mail your checks to you, right? They may have had direct deposit set up, but didn't nobody tell us how to set it up. So they was mailing the checks to the office. And I remember I had these checks in my bag. I had this work bag. So I come from the office, from my job, my little 8 to 5 job. And I come to the office and I bring my bag in because it had, my Primerica stuff in there too. And I was looking for some paperwork. It might have been a life app, like a paper life app. Oh Lord, I'm dating myself. We used to actually do paper life apps back in the day where they ain't had no turbo app, where we did stuff electronically. We literally had to deal with paper life apps, right? Where we had to sit in front of somebody and fill out some daggone paperwork, collect signatures manually. Then check this out. Before you nailed that life app off the home office, we had to go to Kinko's. It was a place in Dallas called 2 Cent Copy. We would go to 2 Cent Copy, make copies of it, because if you mailed it out without a copy, if there was a mistake on that paperwork, you were messed up. So you had to make a copy of your application just in case you needed to correct something. I know I'm going to, this is where I came from in the business. So I was looking for an app or something like that, but I started pulling out checks. And I remember Stephen looked at me like, bruh, you ain't cashed them checks, guys. I had about 4 or 5 checks in my bag. That was probably over $1,000 worth of commission checks. And I was like, yeah, man, like, I'll get around to take them to the bank of the pot. He was like, bruh, you gotta take them checks in. I said, oh, okay. Let me tell you something. I wasn't tripping off the money. I was tripping off of who can I get in front of to tell the Primerica story to, so I can hopefully get them some life insurance if they don't have any, show them some concepts, build them a financial plan and all that good stuff, or switch out the trash value stuff that they had. I was just eating up with the Crusade because I felt that everybody needed to hear about this. Does this make sense? And so when my tough times came, I was anchored in the Crusade. There was never a doubt in my mind that Primerica didn't work. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't ever think about leaving the business, but even when I thought about leaving the business, because it's human nature. You experience tough times, the enemy starts to creep in and question whether or not you should be here. Is this for you? So, they try to put those seeds of doubt in your mind. But what kept me here was the grace of God. What kept me here and just how he allowed me to be rooted in what it is that we do for people. And I'm here to tell you right now, family, that if you're going to last here in Primerica, I'm talking about stay in power. Stay in power. You got to be rooted in the Crusade. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, right? So I want to sell you tonight the Crusade. That's what I want to do. I want to sell you the Crusade. We talked about the dream last week. This week, man, let's talk about what we're about as a company, right? And some of these slides, of course, are going to be familiar to you guys. Let me ask you all a question. Who knows the name of their great-great-grandfather? Who knows the name of their great-great-grandfather? This is your grandfather's father's father, right? I know you got to probably think about that a little bit. What is the name of your grandfather's father's father? The name of their grandfather's father's father. Not your grandfather's father, but your granddaddy's father. Does anybody know that person? That person's name? And if you look at the 5th or the 6th, man, it's easy good. Then yeah. Okay, so we got Reg that know the name. You don't have to necessarily say the name, but raise your hand, use your emoji. I'm gonna do a gallery view. If you know the name of your grandfather's father's father, right? Not too many people. Reg is one person. If you know the name of your grandfather's father's father, then I want to see, like, put your reaction emoji up, if you're that person. All right. So I think Reg might be one of the only ones. Somebody else had theirs. Okay, Chandra Donald. I see her. Good stuff. That's good. Not too many people, though. It's maybe 2, 3 people. It might be a couple of you. But the majority of you guys, we don't know the name of our grandfather's. Somebody said grandma's father's father. No, your grandfather's father's father, not your grandmama's father's father, your grandfather's father's father, right? So that's a tough one. That one right there, that was a tough one. And let me tell you something, the reason why a lot of us don't know, because I don't know mine either, our grandfather's father's father's name is because I understand the situation that, our people were in that period of time, and, the challenges that they may have faced and all that good stuff. But partly because there wasn't much that was left to us from that person, right? They did the best that they could, right? And so I do want to be sensitive to the time period that our grandfather's fathers were living in. and the circumstances and the oppression and it was just a difficult situation. So it was a challenge for them to probably leave something to us. But I guarantee you that if we were in a position to where our grandfather's father's father had built and accumulated a massive estate, and through their effort and their hard work was able to pass that legacy down to their children, and it passed down to the children's children, and it made its way to us, we would know that person's name. Listen to me. We would know that person's name. We would. Because it would be told to us, who started all this for us? Like, how are we able to own these businesses and this property and these mineral rights and, this land and all of this stuff? How are we able to have this life that we have and that we're all enjoying, this ranch and all like who started all this for us? Oh, well, that's your grandfather's father's father. His name was boom, right? And so that's what I think about when I'm thinking about what we're doing. As African Americans, I've just been, Raheem and I, we've been watching things as of late that just really, like a little bit, we put it, kind of pisses us off on just how we've been done as a people in this country, and how we've been taken advantage of, manipulated, given false information on purpose. Man, we were just watching something the other day. We was watching Black Love season 4, and they were talking about the effects of the pandemic on Black families and stuff. And it's just like, it's just this pattern of being taken advantage of as a people, right? And it all comes back to, ain't nobody gonna look out for us but us. Nobody's gonna look out for us but us. And so because of that, we have to take a fiduciary responsibility. That's a securities term. We have to take a financial responsibility for our community. We, being in this business is Primerica, we have to just look at this beyond, I'm just selling some daggone life insurance to make some money, right? Or to get a promotion or anything like, I mean, all that stuff is gonna happen, and that's cool. We're gonna recognize that, but it's gotta, why don't we just expand the conversation a little bit bigger, a little bit broader than that, right? We gotta look at it as, this is me taking a fiduciary responsibility for my community, because nobody is going to do it. What they've proven is that they're going to mess us over time and time again. But that can stop with our generation if we're out there crusading what it is that we do. Let me share something with you guys, because I think that there's a lot of people that deserve to know in the future their great-great-grandfather's name. So let me tell you on the Crusade. So there's 4 challenges that we face as Black people in America, 4 major challenges, and I didn't make this up. I got this actually from Byron Allen. He did an interview on The Breakfast Club. If you haven't watched that, go to YouTube and just search Byron Allen interview, Byron Allen Breakfast Club interview. It is one of the most powerful interviews that you want to watch when it comes to creating Black wealth and just some of the challenges that we face in America. If you don't know Byron Allen, he's a media mogul. He used to have a talk show back in the day and things like that. And you might look at him and just think that he's the most unsuspecting person. Brother worth $500 million. He owned the Weather Channel. He owned a lot of different stuff, man. Just has built a media empire. Rarely gets talked about, but highly successful. When he was on The Breakfast Club, great interview. Do yourself a favor, go to YouTube and search that interview, Byron Allen Breakfast Club, and it'll bless your life. But he talked about there's 4 challenges that we faced as Black people in America, right? The first challenge, obviously, is slavery, right? So in order for us to be able to advance as a people, we had to abolish slavery. We actually went to war in the country. over this, everything, all that good stuff. And then after that, there was Reconstruction and Jim Crow, right? So when Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, I'm not going to get into all that history. We were supposed to be free, but at the same time, there were politics involved and just, man, them folks just full of hate and didn't like what they were seeing. So they started to try to turn back the promises and renege on the promises that they made to Black people in America, and they successfully did that. And then it was Jim Crow, right? Jim Crow was the second challenge that we had to face. And then there was the civil rights movement, right? Just for us to be able to successfully stand firmly on the 14th Amendment in this country, to get it applied to us as citizens in this country, civil rights, right? So we've gone through all of these different movements, and I'm telling you right now, we're still fighting. We are still fighting for a lot of these things. Man, you see this legislation being passed where they're trying to pass these voter restrictive laws. I mean, it's just crazy. This is a crazy time that we are living in right now. But I'm telling you right now, what he talked about was the fourth frontier, the fourth challenge that we're facing in America right now as Black people, and that's financial empowerment. That's financial empowerment. And he got this message from Coretta Scott King. He said he was talking to Coretta Scott King, and before she passed away, and this is what she was saying: hey, slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights. And he said that when she got to the fourth one, before she could say the fourth one, she got very emotional. She said, this is what they killed my Martin for, right? And she said, and this is the challenge that your generation is going to have to do, and that's financial empowerment for our people. Financial empowerment for our people. And so that's the challenge that we have to adopt in Primerica, especially for our community, because no one is going to take up the mantle and fight that good fight for us. We have to do that. And we are in position to do that. So let's talk a little bit more, right? So there's another YouTube video that I wouldn't mind you to watch. Both of them are, the Biden Allen one is one. And then if you haven't done this already, or if you haven't done it in a while, go to YouTube and search Wealth Inequality in America, right? It is a very short, maybe 5-minute video. It's kind of dated, but at the same time, it's very powerful. I can only imagine what the statistics are now if they do a current version of this. But Wealth Inequality in America, if you search that and watch that video, mind-blowing stuff, Audrey. What it talks about is, how do people think that wealth is distributed in America, right? They talk about what people think, how the wealth is distributed in America and the wealthy 1%. I'm telling you right now, guys, we don't have any idea. These people are playing virtual reality games. We're playing Atari. The gap between the wealthy 1% and everybody else is so big. I'm talking about, it's so big that you can't even imagine it. And that's what it talks about. See, you think that the gap between the wealthy 1% and everybody else is small. It's not. It's not. And let me tell you something, start paying attention. Start paying attention, because you read things or you hear things all the time that give you signals about the wealth that the wealthy 1% have. Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all know that right now is the hottest real estate market that this country has ever seen? Right now, it's the hottest real estate market. And you know who has the hottest real estate market in the country right now? You know what the hottest real estate market in the country is? You'll never guess it. Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is the hottest real estate market in the country. They say that it's so bad there. A house can go up, because most listings come on a Thursday. For those of us who have ever listed a house or bought it, you know that on Thursday, that's when you check it to see what listings are up. If you're trying to buy a crib, or you're not, doing a new crib, a new build, but if you're purchasing a house on Thursday, you own it. I mean, first thing Thursday. Or You know, if your realtor is listing your house, your realtor's probably listing your house on a Thursday, right? Because that's when all the things come up. They say that houses will go up on a Thursday. By Friday, they already got a contract on them. They already got a contract on them. And people are buying these properties cash. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all not hearing me. Now, who do you think is buying all these houses cash? Who has that kind of money? Right? I don't know too many people that are buying houses cash like that. And we ain't talking about houses that are $125,000. Heck, even if I was, $125,000 cash is still a lot of money. We're talking about properties that list for a pretty significant amount. They're buying these properties cash. I'm telling you right now, these are investors. These are the wealthy 1%. And it's so bad that they're talking about, man, the federal government needs to step in because the prices are being driven up. Imagine if you're looking for a house and you've been approved for $300,000. A property goes on the market for $300,000. You like the property. You put in an offer on it, but there's 10 other offers, 8 of them are cash, and they're 20% over ask price. That's what's going on right now in America. Who's doing this? The wealthy 1%. Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to create an even wider gap. And well, y'all not hearing me, are you? Y'all not understanding what's going on right now. Okay, let's get into it even more. This is what's going on. So there was a documentary called Waiting for Superman, right? And it's by a gentleman named Jeffrey Kennedy. He's up in New York. And it is a documentary that talks about the lottery system for schools, right? School choice. So it's talking about how basically these parents, and it's a documentary that follows him and these parents about trying to get their kid in a better school. And so they do this lottery system. I mean, it's an older documentary, but it's very, very powerful because they know that, hey, if my child's number gets called and my child is allowed through the lottery to go to a better school, it could literally mean the difference between them getting ahead or falling by the wayside. So it's a stressful situation. They're huddled up, they're praying, all this good stuff. And it's called Waiting for Superman. Waiting for Superman. Waiting for somebody else to come and save you. That's what the documentary is called, Waiting for Superman. And so this is a quote that Dr. Kennedy said. He said, one of the saddest days of my life was when my mama told me Superman did not exist. It's one of the saddest days of my life. This is a quote from him. Then he went on to say, I cried because there was no one with enough power, check this out, Chandra, to come save us. Lord have mercy. When he was a little boy, he said, one of the saddest days of my life is when my mama told me Superman did not exist. I cried because there was no one with enough power to come save us. Think about that. Well, this is what's going on right now. Did you know that the U.S. stock market is now worth over $30 trillion? The U.S. stock market is now worth over $30 trillion. But also look at this. The richest 10% in America now owns over 84% of all stocks. Y'all just missed it. Did y'all catch that? You have a U.S. stock market that now is worth over $30 trillion, but the richest 10% owns 84% of all stocks. Millions of Americans are left out of the stock market boom. Y'all, we ain't even talking about black folk. This is Americans, period. I'm trying to sell you the Crusade. I'm building my case. I'm kind of like a lawyer in a courtroom, Anita. I'm trying to build a case right now, right? Why is it important what we do? I'm presenting the facts to you guys. These are the facts that I'm presenting to you. and then I'm gonna kind of go in and talk about some more, so I'm building my case. Every time over $30 trillion worth of provide, 10% of the people in America, the richest 10% of Americans own 84% of that pie. Retirement crisis facing African Americans. You've seen the headlines. The Great Recession was like 2008, 2009, was a big step backwards for Black homeowners. And then this one right here says the median wealth of Black Americans will fall below zero by year 2053. And if that's not enough, I showed these last week, but I want to kind of add some more to them. Black-white wealth gap left Black households more vulnerable. How the pandemic is widening the racial wealth gap. Black and white economic divide is as wide as it is since 1968. Doesn't stop there. Systemic racism, not $200 Air Jordans, suppresses Black wealth. A lot of times we get very critical of our people to say, well, if they didn't buy them $100 Jordans, them $200 Jordans, $300 shoes, or that handbag, then we'll be, okay, yeah, I get it. I mean, that's part of it, but that ain't the only reason. This article in the Washington Post talks very candidly and vividly about systemic racism is really one of the main culprits that suppresses Black wealth. And then check this out, eliminating the Black-white wealth gap is a generational challenge. Lord have mercy. It's a generational challenge, Constance, meaning that it's going to take a lifetime to right the ship. Oh, and I thought this one was really good. This was a Forbes magazine article. It says what Black America can do to close the racial wealth gap. What can Black America do to close the racial wealth gap? It's a Forbes magazine article, right? And I'm going to share with you guys some things that this article pointed out. It pointed out like 6 things. And I want you all to listen to what I'm saying as I share the things that this article says that we as Black people, we can do to close the wealth gap. And I want you to see if something just like, does it sound familiar? Does it sound like, hey, you have one of those moments where you look and you be like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm gonna share these with you guys because when I was reading the article today, it kind of gave me that feeling. I was like, I'm gonna share it with the team and see if they got the same feeling I got. Okay? All right, so let's go to it. All right, let's get into it. Check this out. The first thing that they said is, check this out, Coach B-Walk, seek and provide mentorship. Hold on, let me go back because y'all missed it. It says, what Black America can do to close the racial wealth gap. This was a Forbes magazine article. This is what the author said of this article. First thing that they listed was seek and provide mentorship. One of the biggest challenges Black professionals face is getting on the radar of upper management. Excellent work is often overlooked and innovative ideas can be misattributed, right? Having a mentor who advocates on your behalf and willingly shares essential knowledge with the intent of developing your business acumen can significantly accelerate your trajectory within a company. Okay, all right, just, isn't that what we, okay, all right, hold on. All right, let me keep going. Okay, all right. Supports diversity, equality, and inclusion. Make sure your employer has a diversity, equality, and inclusion department to assess and resolve inequalities throughout the workplace. You know, it talks about minorities in senior management or executive positions. And yeah, really? Okay. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. I think primary. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. I think our opportunity. Well, I'm gonna save my comments for later. All right. Y'all, I'm not making this up. The third thing that the article listed was pursue financial education. In the Black community, we have often been conditioned to avoid discussing the fundamentals of money management and financial planning. Without knowing the programs, loopholes, and rules that provide us the opportunities we may not otherwise have, our community continues to suffer. Public libraries, community centers, or churches that provide free classes on taxes, healthcare programs, grants for home improvement, and other financial assistance help the Black community learn and implement low or no-cost programs, which leads to the basis of wealth among our people. Pursue financial education. Are y'all starting to get the picture? Hopefully you are. Explore entrepreneurship. I promise y'all I'm not making this up. This was the fourth thing that this article said. Explore entrepreneurship. Yep, explore entrepreneurship. Talks about, man, the need of establishing our own businesses, all that good stuff. Know your worth, right? Know your worth. Basically, not putting any limits on yourself. And then last but not least, support Black-owned businesses. Support Black-owned businesses, right? I'm curious, man. After y'all look at them things, them the 6 things the article said. What were y'all thinking when y'all looked at all them things? I mean, what was y'all thoughts about that? What was your thoughts about it? I thought they were good things. I thought they were really good. That's just my opinion. I got another opinion too, but what was y'all's thoughts on that? I'm curious to talk to me.
That's what we do. All the things I mentioned, that's who we are and what we do. Who we are and what we do.
I'm gonna spotlight you real quick so we can be on wax. All right, so say that one more time. What you say?
I said that's what we do. That's who we are. Who we are, what we do. Everything they explained, that's who we are.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? See, this article is talking about what is the solution for Black America to bridge the wealth gap, and they basically said you need to go to Primerica. Talk to us, Auntie. What was you about to say?
No, I was going to say when you started off. Oh, I hear myself multiple times.
You good?
When you started off and it talked about, can you hear me?
Yep.
No. Did I cut myself?
Oh, I can hear you.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said when you started off and you talked about the first slide that said mentorship. And I was thinking about what happens in corporate America is one of the ways that they suppress our people. So I was looking at the first 2 slides when I made my comment in the chat. When they'll say mentorship, basically they're saying you're not worthy and you're not skilled enough to make it to the next level. Someone has to approve you. And then the second slide talked about, diversity and inclusion. So that's really, I don't know how the word, it's really a, I'm gonna use the word fake. This is not what I'm looking for though, but it's something that's good, but it's another establishment of something to pat someone on the head to say we're doing a good job. Right. So that's why I put sounds like systemic racism, sounds like suppression. Those were the first 2 slides. But when you build it all together, yes, obviously we provide all those things, right? Primerica provides all of the solutions that article brought forth. But depending on where a person is and what position they're in corporate America, some of those things, those trigger words, mentorship, DEI, those are really, it's really a holdback. It's something to hold someone back, and hopefully they won't make too much noise. Gotcha. But we're in position to make a lot of noise with our wallets. I love it. The message that you're sharing tonight is extremely powerful. And it is good that Forbes kind of brought out what we should, what we do is critically important. And we always have to be conscious of making sure we're supporting and getting this message out to our people. Because
Absolutely.
a lot of us, unfortunately, are not thinking about the solution.
Good stuff. I love it. Thank you for that, Auntie. A lot of what we do is already baked in. I mean, those they share this baked into our opportunity, at least for our organization. Now, I understand different organizations may function different ways, but my experience in Primerica, and hopefully your experience in Primerica, a lot of those things are already baked in. This is a place where you can come and be unapologetically you. You know, you can be unapologetically you. Now, we're going to ask you to grow. We're going to ask you to develop in some areas and things like that. But nobody's going to sit up here and tell you that you need to, you know, cut your hair and all that. I mean, like, I've never had that conversation. Not unless, you know, yeah, anyway. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you can be unapologetically you. You can be unapologetically you here. And if you have a hard work ethic, man, it doesn't matter, you know, what's going on. If you have a hard work ethic, you have a heart to help people and serve people, then you can be who you are and get all the blessings and for it. You know, that's the beautiful part of Primerica. That's what's awesome about this opportunity. Anybody else have any comments before we keep it moving? Anybody else? All right. Hold on, did I hear somebody come off mute?
I was going to say with the whole mentorship, like Auntie was talking about, even in a job or a work environment, who is really mentoring? You know, you might have someone that's quote unquote mentoring you, but you don't get that one-on-one type growth or development in mentorship. So that's another thing with coming with Primerica. I've never experienced what I experienced with Primerica as far as mentorship, as far as developing myself and extending myself like I have with Primerica, because that's not what your job is for. Your job is really for you to come to work, fulfill your obligation, and that's it. It's not to grow you, it's not to better you or your family. And sometimes when you're talking to individuals, you wish that they would understand that, you know, when you're giving the crusade to them and telling them, hey, look at what we can provide for you, don't, you know, don't think that your job is going to give you that, because that's not what they were built for. Your job was never to make you rich. It was never to build to grow you or your family. When that job was created, it was never created with you in mind. But when Primerica was created, it was created with you in mind, because that's the sole purpose of Primerica, to grow you, to develop you, to make sure that your family does become wealthy.
I love it. I love it. And so, Auntie, you just put something very powerful in the chat. Appreciate that, Constance. Lighten it up. That's dope. Talking about the job, just provide the seed money. You know what I'm saying? to for your business. And so, and it's funny because one of the newest teammates, Tanisha, out in Arizona, you know, she's new. And so when I'd be talking to her on the phone, and she'd be talking about her sponsor and things like that. I'm like, I thought Tanisha was from Alabama. I didn't know she was like from I don't think she's from another country, because we hear people saying sponsor and stuff like that. You know, they're from another country. I think that's the word she was using. But she's talking about her job. Like, hey man, they just provide. No, she calls her investor. My investor. That's what it is. Her investor. And so I'm like, her investor. Like, what is it? And it dawned on me that she was calling her job her investor. Like, they just paying my bills right now. My real goal is to build something outside of my job. They're investing in me to go build something else on my own. I just like, man, that is a great way to look at that. You know, the job of the job is to do that, is to pay your bills. Now, hopefully your job is doing their job and paying your bills, you know. Super J Hall of Fame used to say, hey, can you just do your job, right? Because some people's jobs ain't doing that job, ain't doing it well. But if your job is paying your bills, I promise you, you better get on it and do something outside of your job that can really create wealth for your family. So maybe your children's children can know who you are and remember your name and what changed everything, you know, for you and your family. But let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going, because we got about a little bit under 30 minutes. We got about 20 minutes. And so it talks about, again, these are the things. It says seek and provide mentorship, support diversity, equality, and inclusion, pursue financial education, explore entrepreneurship, know your worth, support Black-owned business, all this stuff. It's really built into Primerica in our system. That's the beauty of what it is that we do. It's already built in. It's already built in. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. But again, we're talking about, waiting for Superman. Where is Superman or Superwoman? I'm saying man in the sense of mankind. I'm not trying to be sexist on this, but where is Superman, right? Because here's the problem. There's a lot of people out there that are suffering when it comes to their finances, and they don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know who's going to come and provide a solution to rescue them or save them. And so the question becomes, when we look at our community, the Black community, and the statistics that I showed you guys as far as the wealth gap and all this stuff, like, where is Superman? Man in the sense of mankind. Like, where is Superman in all of that? And I want you to really, just commit that question to your spirit, because I thought about this. Where's Superman? Well, maybe this Superman is out there, but they just don't know that they're Superman. Maybe Superman is out there, but they just don't know that they're Superman. Maybe that's the case, Constance. Maybe that's what's going on. All right? Well, I'm here to tell you, family, that every last one of us, we're who they're waiting on. We're who they're waiting on. We're Superman. When it comes to that fight that I just showed you guys, in terms of bridging the wealth gap in our community and making sure that the next generation that comes behind us and the generation comes behind them, that they have more than a fighting chance, but they have a head start. It's time for us to move beyond fighting chance, and we need to get to head start. Are y'all with me? Not so they just have a fighting chance, but they have a head start. That responsibility falls on us. But we have to really take that responsibility. So we're the Superman that they're waiting on, because Superman has all kinds of superpowers. What superpowers does Superman have? Strong, X-ray vision, heat beams that can come out, like, man, can freeze things with his breath or whatever. Man, like, faster than a speeding bullet, can leap a tall building in a single bound. Y'all know the drill. Superman got superpowers. Well, guess what? You as the Primerica agent, you put the PFS on your chest. Primerica Financial Services, you have superpowers too. Let me remind you of some of these powers you got. I just want to remind you, right? When it comes to investments, more than half of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings. 75% of Americans admitted that they ain't got enough money in their savings, right? The rest of them lying. People don't be having no money, man. They don't have a lot of money. This is what's going on. So what are our solutions to these things? I'm glad you asked. We talk about how most people, what do they normally save, right? They save in the bank. Bank giving them 0.05%. We talking about bypassing the middleman, really opening up people's minds through a conversation. These are the superpowers you have. See, when it comes to creating wealth, you're not going to do that by just putting your money in the bank and hoping that the best happens. You can actually bypass the middleman and invest your own money in the global economy in the form of mutual funds, right? But check this out. There's currently over $16.2 trillion sitting in cash, money market accounts, and savings accounts. And I'm telling y'all, most people, when it comes to Black people, most of our money is sitting in the bank. It's sitting right there in the bank. And our people are earning that 0.05%. They need you to come along and show them the rule of 72. It's not hard to understand. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need somebody to come through with a daggum, charts and graphs, and you can do this presentation on a napkin. Talking about, hey man, the Rule 72 approximates the number of years it takes for your money to double. You take whatever interest you're earning on your money, divide it into 72. That tells you how many years it will take for your money to double. This is part of our superpowers. Then you show the illustration of 3 people having $1,000 each. I saw Constance do this in a video for a grand opening she did this past Thursday. I thought it was amazing, right? 3 goes into 72, 24 times. Man, that money's doubling every 24 years. Look at that. When we show people this, they're like, what? Huh? Nobody wants that. But they don't even know. Then you show them 6%, and then look at that 12%. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, if you had your choice between your money growing at 3% or 12%, which one would you choose? Everybody says 12%. But they don't know where to go get it. This is part of our superpowers. Do you know your FIN number? Man, bro, what's that? What's a FIN number? Family, we have the power to show our people. Nobody's going to show them. Nobody's going to teach them. Nobody's going to even talk to them about it over a drink or over coffee or over tea or over a plate of daggone barbecue or some gumbo or some. Look, y'all know crawfish season is happening here in Texas. People going to be having crawfish balls every weekend. Ain't nobody talking to our people about this stuff. We got to show up. You know how Superman do. They show up, man. Superman show up with his glasses on. He say, man, I sense brokenness going on. Let me go ahead and take my glasses off, and I'm gonna pull my shirt back, got the S on my chest. We need to come to the rescue. We need to come to the rescue. Because we're Superman. We're who they waiting on. When they ain't asking for help, it don't matter. They live in a quiet life of desperation. They ain't talking about it because if they do, they'll cry about it. We got to be able to bring it up and ease it in. Hey, sis, how you doing? Let me ask you something, man. Has anyone ever talked to you about building a strong financial? I know you're looking to retire sometime soon. What are your thoughts about that? Are you planning for that? You're not? Have you thought about it? You have? I can help you with that. I can. That's what I do. That's my ministry. Really? I didn't know that. Yes. Look, don't fool me now. You serious? You really? Look, I'd love to talk to you about it. We got to strap the cape on. We got to strap the cape on and go after our people. Nobody's going to save them, y'all. Nobody's going to save them. Man, this country would much rather watch our people die on the vine. But we got to go save them. Right? Here we go. Power of compound interest. Let me tell y'all something. The importance of rate of return. Power of compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe, said Albert Einstein, right? Obviously, I think that the Lord, who invented compound interest, is the most powerful force in the universe. But when it comes to money, compound interest is amazing. I remember when I first saw the illustration of compound interest, how it just shocked me. It blew me away. It blew me away because the way that I saw it in a way, in a room full of people for the first time, all in that presentation. And I just thank God that the presenter was a very good presenter, that they set it up the right way. They set it up the right way. I was going all off the deep end. I thought I knew the answer. Oh, it's got to be this, and the other. When I saw the results of the power of compound interest, I never got over it. It blew me away. How can there be such a difference between someone investing at 3% versus somebody investing the same money and getting an average 12%? I said, why don't they teach this in middle school? I know why they don't. because they don't want you and everybody that you know to be wealthy. $250 a month being invested for 35 years. We just said last week the average person is in the corporate prison for anywhere from 30 to 40 years. Yep, I said the corporate prison. We just said that last week. The average person serves a corporate prison sentence of about 30 to 40 years, right? So, hey, if you're going to do the time, you might as well walk away with something at the end of that term or end of that bid. Let's say that a person saving $250 a month, getting 0.05%, they only go retire with $105,000. No, ma'am, no, sir. 3%, $185,000, 6%, $357,000. Let me tell you something, family. If a person retires with $357,000 in our community, half of us think that they got a lot of money. They think they got a decent amount of money. For those who are securities licensed, how many of us come across people that they got $357,000 already set aside for their retirement? I've been doing this for over 17 years. It's not common. Unfortunately, it's not common that somebody is in their 50s, mid-50s, late 50s, and they already got about $357,000 in their retirement plan. It's not common. So I know we like to posture and say, oh, that's not a lot of money. Oh, that ain't enough to live on. I'm here to tell you, that sounds good and you are correct. But when reality comes and the rubber meets the road, your auntie ain't got $357,000. Your mama ain't got $357,000 saved for retirement. That's the reality. I'm getting excited, y'all, because they waiting on us. They waiting on us. Well, check this out. You sit down with your niece or your nephew, or your son or your daughter or your cousin that just had the baby, and you say, cuz, listen, you do $250 a month for 35 years. We put you in some mutual funds averaging 12%. When you get ready to retire, you got $1.6 million. Lord have mercy. Who gonna save them, y'all? Who gonna save them? And then let's talk about the foundation life insurance. 70% of households would feel the financial impact if the primary breadwinner died. Nearly 48% say they don't have enough. Look, let me tell you something. Breadwinner died in a black household, the financial impact is felt that day. The day that that person passes away, they take their last breath, they leave the earth. The financial impact is felt immediately. Not immediately, immediately. It's felt. So don't fool yourself. Theory of decreasing responsibility. Who teaching our people about the type of life insurance that they need to have? You've been sold whole life. You've been sold the wrong thing. This is how life insurance in life should work. Right? You need a lot of coverage when you're younger. Why? Because you have more responsibilities. If you were to pass away, you're still building your nest egg. You don't have enough money. You need life insurance to replace your income. Life insurance is called income replacement because it's supposed to replace your income if you die. People don't know that. They thinking that the life insurance is just for the funeral. Who gonna save them, y'all? Then talk about once you reach retirement age, you need money. If you want life insurance, you can have it, but you shouldn't need it. Why? Because you need to be in a place to where you're self-insured. You're self-insured. Who's breaking that down to our people and talking about how buy term and invest the difference meets this need? Nobody's talking to our people about it, y'all. Who's talking to them about this beautiful couple walking through the park, kicking leaves in matching clothes, just look like they came from a photo shoot? These pretty, man, this is the family that you think that they got it going on, bringing home $4,000 a month, got a daughter, but their bills is at $7,000 a month. Husband died, what happens to the family? They lose everything because guess what? They didn't have any life insurance. They didn't have any life insurance. But we bring him back. Put $1 million in coverage on both of them, $15,000 on baby girl. Only adds $189 a month to their monthly expenses. Husband passes away. This is what we can do with that $1 million. He can leave his daughter a legacy and his wife a legacy. Put a lump sum of $110,000 aside for the daughter. She's 5 years old. By the time she turns 25 in 20 years, that $110,000 would have grown to over $541,000. And that's assuming a very moderate 8% return in that 20 years. Starting off her adult life with over $500,000. But this is the wife legacy. She got a lump sum of $890,000. That's what's left over tax-free. Because life insurance is tax-free. People don't know this. Tax-free money. She can take $390,000, pay off all of the debt. All the debt is gone. She get an additional $1 million in coverage on herself. Invest $350,000 of the money. And by the time baby girl turned 25, baby girl got over $500,000, and mama's $350,000 then grew to $1.7 million. Y'all ain't excited. Y'all ain't excited. See, this is your cousin right here. This is your sister and her family right here. Waiting on you. Waiting on you. Nick, they hard-headed. I got you. Talk to him again now. Talk to him again. Let him know again. Hey, I know I talked to you about this 3 months ago, but we really need to sit down. I ain't playing with you. You my sister, I love you. You my brother, I love you. I love you and your family. I love my nieces and nephews. I'm not taking no for an answer. We need to sit down. I know you got the money. We need to sit down. We need to do that. Out of love and respect for me, we gonna do this. They waiting on us. Even if we gotta use a little heavy hand, they waiting on us. They waiting on us. When Nick, don't you say that professional sort amateurs convinced? Yeah, I know. This is one of the many contradictions in Primerica. Primerica is filled with just these little contradictions constantly. So y'all just look, man. Sometimes it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. And then, you know, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run, right? Don't count your money when you're sitting at the table, right? But sometimes you got to say, you know what? I'm about to get on your nerves. I'm about to bug you about this because I care enough to confront you. I care enough about you to confront you. I know that you done told me no already. You ain't interested. You already got that stuff. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Prove it to me. Show me. I ain't got to show you nothing. Yes, you do. If you want to hear my mouth, if you don't want to hear my mouth over and over and over again, that's all I'm going to talk to you about. Bro, did you see the game? Yeah, I saw it. Hey, man, where that life insurance policy at? Where that life insurance policy at? Yeah, man, dude. Man, do you believe that LaMarcus Aldridge went to the Nets? That they got bleeding in the bro, man. They think they going to win a chip, bro. Hey, man, what your 401k look like? That's all you want to talk about, man? Uh-huh. That's it. That's it. Why you tripping, man? Because I love you. I love you enough to care enough to confront you. I love you. Have y'all seen that commercial where this person is like watching this person drown? And then as they watching them drown off of this little dock, they just turn and walk away as this person that they clearly know, and they call to them, hey, help me. And they turn around, and they just walk away. It's an old commercial. But I remember I was up late one night, and I saw that commercial. That disturbed me. But I said, man, ain't that the truth? We will literally sit back and watch people drowned. And not say nothing, do nothing about it. Especially people who don't know what you do because you're too scared to talk to them. Shame on you. Shame on us. They waiting on us. All right, I'm coming down the home stretch, y'all. Man, it's superpowers we got, man. There's all these superpowers we got with the wealth builder. We helping people with life insurance, retirement, emergency savings, kids' education, debt elimination. We even got strategies for that. Real estate planning, auto and homeowners insurance, more. We got it all. These are your superpowers. Are you using them? Are you using them? Well, Nick, I don't know how to use them. Guess what? You got somebody that will help you learn how to use them. Y'all ain't hearing me. So what are you waiting on? Superman? Superwoman? What are you waiting on? You just gonna float? Distress all around you? Chaos? Cacophony? People perishing? Destruction? Running amok all around you? And you have the powers to fix and change that stuff. You have the powers to right and correct these injustices, to do something about it. You're not going to do nothing about it. You just going to sit there with all them powers, with your arms crossed, and just float and watch it. What are you waiting on, Superman, Superwoman? What are you waiting on? I'm here to sell y'all the Crusade. Man, I'm here to sell you the Crusade. What are you waiting on? I know what you're waiting on. And I know what the problem is. Coach B. Walk, I know what the problem is. See, here's the problem right here. Here's the problem. See, even though you Superman, Superwoman, even Superman and Superwoman got Kryptonite. Oh! Oh! See, even Superman and Superwoman got to worry about Kryptonite. And here's the question I want to ask you tonight. You ain't got to answer it. But I want it to haunt you as you go to sleep. What's your Kryptonite? What is your Kryptonite? Is your Kryptonite poor work ethic? You lazy? You just on some, I'll get around to it. I'll do it tomorrow. I understand. Hey, poor work ethic, is that your Kryptonite? Okay, or if it's not that, you say, hey, Nick, I ain't got no poor work ethic. I'm good on that. What about limited belief? Limited belief, is that your Kryptonite? To where you know Primerica will work, but you just don't think it'll work for you? You know Primerica work. You've seen it work. You've seen it work. You've seen it work, but you just don't quite believe that it'll work for you. Is that your Kryptonite? Limited belief? Because if it is, I'm here to tell you that it can work for you. It can work for you. And it will work for you. But it's not going to work for you if you don't believe that it can. You have to believe in whatever you got to do to adjust your work ethic, to improve your limited belief, to improve your self-image. We can help you with that. What about this one? Fear. Fear is my Kryptonite, Nick. Fear. I'm afraid of what they might say about me behind my back. I'm afraid about what they might think about me. I'm afraid that I might look silly talking about it. I'm afraid of taking on too much more than I can handle right now. Man, I'm afraid, man. Is your Kryptonite fear? Okay. Well, you can still have fears and move forward. You can still have fears and move forward, right? You can still have concerns and move forward, because don't let your fear outdo your faith and lead you astray. I'm telling you, everything has already been predestined and determined for you. You just need to get on the path and start walking. And everything that you're afraid of, everything that you're concerned about, by the time that you arrive, it ain't gonna even be an issue. I love the story of the Bible. After Jesus was crucified, they laid him in the tomb. You got the women walking to the grave, on the third day to anoint the body and all of that. They walking in darkness. Darkness in the Bible is always a symbol of fear, uncertainty. And as they're walking towards the tomb of Jesus, they talking to each other about who gonna roll the stone away. We a group of women. That's man's work. Like, who gonna roll this big stone away? But as they talking about who gonna roll the stone away, Auntie, they keep walking. As they talking, they keep walking, right? Who gonna roll this stone away, girl? I don't know. I got a bad back. I ain't about to try to roll that stone away. I felt the twinge in my back, but I put my shoes on this morning. Don't ask me to roll no stone away, cousin. Well, who gonna do it? I need y'all help. They keep walking though, and by the time they get to the tombstone, already rolled away. So whatever you're afraid of, go towards it. Go towards it, and you will be surprised that it's already been taken care of. It's already been taken care of. Is that your kryptonite? Is it fear? Oh, this one right here, this is the strongest kryptonite. This is the strongest kryptonite. Is your kryptonite apathy? Apathy. This is the strongest kryptonite. You thought it was fear. No. The strongest kryptonite out there is apathy. What's apathy? I'm glad you asked. Apathy is, by definition, a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. It is a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. What are the synonyms? Indifference, lack of interest, lack of enthusiasm, lack of concern, unconcerned, uninterestedness, unresponsiveness, impassivity, lethargy. Basically, you don't care. You don't give a damn. Yeah, Nick, I know all of these things. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I know that people aren't saving enough for retirement. People in my family, I know people in my family and friends I know and people I come across. I know they ain't got no life insurance, I know that. But you know what? I don't care. And because you don't care, you don't do nothing about it. This is the strongest kryptonite, apathy. Whatever your kryptonite is, I'm here to tell you, family. The people still waiting on Superman, whether they know it or not. The question is, are you going to be Superman? Because they waiting on you, whether they know it or not. Whether they call for help now or they call for help later. See, Superman got super hearing, right? Super hearing. He can hear things from miles away, right? He got a sense. He can hear things from miles away. There are people crying out right now that you know. They might not be coming to you directly, but they're crying out right now. They need your help. They need your help. They need your help. They waiting on you. Superman, Superwoman. But are you going to just sit there with your arms folded with all these superpowers, all these gifts, skills? Are you going to sit there and just float and watch the people suffer? Or are you going to get in the fight and do something about it? because we need you to get in the crusade. We need you to get in the fight, because the future of our people, it depends on it. And that's all I got, family. Selling you on the crusade. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Any questions, any comments? Any questions, any comments?
Nick, that was dope. Like, so needed. Like, I'm going to replay this over and over again because that was so needed. It touched on so many things that even if you've been seasoned in the business, you needed to rehear just to reignite that fire of why you joined the business. So dope. Loved it.
Thank you so much. And I'm here to tell you, as I was putting this training together, I was ministering to myself. Like, where you at, Superman? Where you at? You know what I'm saying? You got all these skills and things like that, but are you really out there on the front line of the crusade making it happen? Like, it's time to remind yourself. It's time to really just come to grips and say, hey, man, where you at mentally? Where you at emotionally? You know, the money is good. Yep, y'all more than doubled your income over 12 months. That's sweet. That's good. But you started that journey off focusing on the impact that you were going to have on families in 2020. What happened? We got to get back to that. We got to get eaten up with the impact that we're going to have on the community. And the byproduct of all of that will be the money. It will be the promotions. It will be all of that. Because if we focus on the impact, we're going to make an impact. All right? Anybody else have any comments or questions? All right. Well, I love you guys. I do. And as you know, this training will be posted. It will be posted on our team YouTube page, right? Our team YouTube channel. You search Prove It Training Official. If you haven't done this already, do it right now. Go to YouTube and search Prove It Training Official, right? When you search Prove It Training Official, you'll find our logo, our team logo. Hit the subscribe button so you'll subscribe to it. This training will be out there first thing in the morning, and you'll get a little ding if you hit that bell button, and it'll alert you when any new content is added. But yes, so I'm gonna add this. Feel free to listen to it, watch it as many times as you like. But this one right here, the money is good. The money is amazing in Primerica. It is. Raheem and I are testament to that, and the leadership. A lot of you guys have made very, very big money. But Isia is on track to really probably having her biggest income month in the business this month. I'm hoping that to be true. But it's the crusade, guys. That's what we got to be rooted in, is the crusade. But I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for your time and attention.